Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chill English channel, where we help you grow your English with calm, clear conversations that feel friendly and simple. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Jake. Today, we're diving into a topic that helps you talk about your daily life, your surroundings, and your personal space in a confident way.
We're talking about how to describe your home in English, and we'll keep things easy to follow so you can learn the words and phrases you'll actually use when speaking with friends or writing messages online.
When people start learning English, they often focus on big themes like travel or work. But describing your home is just as important because it helps people understand your environment and your lifestyle.
And it can help you feel more comfortable when someone asks you something simple like, "Where do you live?" or "What's your place like?" Because those questions appear in real conversations all the time.
Let's start by building a small group of useful words that will help you talk about the type of home you live in, such as apartment, house, studio, shared flat, or dorm room.
Each of these words describes a different kind of living space, and using the right one helps people picture what kind of place you call home, even if they have never been there.
For example, if you live in a high-rise building with many floors, you might say you live in an apartment, while someone in a single-building residence might simply say they live in a house.
If you live alone in one main room that has your bed, a small kitchen, and maybe a bathroom attached, that's usually called a studio, and it's a very common living situation in many big cities.
Some people share a home with friends or classmates, and in that case, you can say you live in a shared flat or shared apartment, which helps listeners understand that you have roommates.
Once you've shared what type of place you live in, the next step is to describe the layout. And that means giving a simple picture of the rooms, the size, and the general feeling of the space.
For beginners, it's helpful to use short, clear structures, such as, "My home has 2 bedrooms," or "There is a small kitchen," or "The living room is bright and cozy."
Words like bright, quiet, small, large, cozy, and modern help your listener imagine the atmosphere, and you don't need advanced grammar to use them well.
For example, you can say, "My bedroom is small but comfortable," or "The living room is large and sunny." And that tells your listener a lot with just a few simple words.
Another helpful way to describe your home is by explaining what you like or don't like about it, because opinions help people understand your relationship with your space.
You could say, "I like my kitchen because it has a big window," or "I don't like my bathroom because it's a little old." And sharing those thoughts makes the description more personal.
You can also talk about location in a simple way by using phrases like near the station, in the city center, or close to a park, which helps listeners imagine your neighborhood.
Many learners worry that they need very advanced vocabulary to describe their homes, but in most cases, a few basic words plus clear structure already give an excellent picture.
And when you speak, try to keep your rhythm slow and your ideas clear, because even easy vocabulary can sound strong and confident when delivered in a calm, steady way.
One useful pattern for describing your home is to start with the type of place you live in, then name the rooms you have, then describe the style or feeling, and finally, add a personal comment.
Here's an example. I live in a small apartment with 1 bedroom and a bright living room. The kitchen is small, but I enjoy cooking there. My home feels warm and peaceful.
That's a great model because the sentences are simple, clear, and packed with useful details that help someone understand your space without needing advanced grammar.
Another idea is to describe one object that's special to you, like a desk, a bookshelf, a sofa, or a plant, because objects help listeners form a strong mental image.
If you say, I have a wooden desk where I study every night, it adds personality and gives your home more character in the listener's mind.
And don't worry if your sentences feel simple, because learning to describe your home is about communicating clearly, not about sounding fancy or complicated.
When starting out, it's more important to feel comfortable explaining your space with small, reliable phrases that you can use anytime someone asks about where you live.
And if you're listening right now and enjoying our lessons, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can keep learning with us and never miss a new episode.
Before we move deeper into examples, let's pause and give you a quick, gentle exercise that you can think about while listening.
Picture your home right now and imagine someone friendly asking you to describe it in 2 or 3 short sentences.
Think of the type of place you live in, think of 1 or 2 rooms, and think of one thing you like about it, because those 3 points will help you form a simple introduction.
With this image in mind, you're already building a habit of speaking naturally about your personal space, which makes it easier when you share it with others in English.
Keep that picture fresh, because we're going to use it as we continue shaping your skills throughout this episode.
All right, now, let's keep building your confidence so you can describe your home in a more complete and natural way.
In this part, we'll focus on practical techniques you can use immediately, along with simple patterns that make your descriptions sound smoother and more detailed without becoming difficult.
Many learners know basic words like bedroom, kitchen, and living room, but they aren't always sure how to combine these words into clear, flowing sentences.
That's why we'll work through some useful structures that help you add details in a gentle, step-by-step way, starting with shapes, sizes, colors, and everyday activities.
A great place to begin is with a sentence frame like, "My home has," because it helps you list features in a natural order. You can say, "My home has 2 bedrooms, a small kitchen, and a bright living room."
If you want to add more feeling, you can follow with I enjoy or I usually to show how you use the space. For example, I usually relax in the living room after work. Or I enjoy cooking in the kitchen on weekends.
These simple additions make your description feel alive because you're not just naming the rooms, you're showing how they fit into your daily life.
Another useful structure is there is or there are, which helps you talk about objects or features inside the room. For example, there is a big table in the dining area, or there are 2 windows in my bedroom.
When you want to expand your sentences, you can add extra details with, next to, or near. For example, there is a sofa near the window, or I have a small desk with a lamp on top.
These small connecting words help your sentences feel smoother because they guide the listener through the room as if they're walking with you.
Another helpful idea is describing the overall style of your home. You don't need advanced vocabulary to do this. Words like simple, modern, traditional, minimal, and colorful work perfectly at the beginner and intermediate levels.
You might say, my home has a simple style with light colors. Or, the design is modern with clean lines. And both give a clear picture without complicated grammar.
Learners sometimes think describing style means using fancy adjectives, but what matters more is choosing 1 or 2 easy words that help express your feeling about the space.
Another technique is explaining how each room makes you feel, because emotions help people understand your connection to your home.
You could say, my bedroom feels peaceful because it's quiet. Or the living room feels lively because the sunlight is strong. These small emotional notes help your description sound warm and personal.
To practice this, imagine yourself standing in one room and describe what you see, what you hear, and how the room feels. Keeping it simple is the key.
For example, my kitchen is small, but I like it because it's bright in the morning. Or, my balcony is narrow, yet it gives me a fresh view of the trees outside.
These sentence patterns work well because they contain contrast words like but or yet, which help you sound natural even with basic vocabulary.
You can also describe your home by talking about how you organize your things, which gives extra detail without adding difficulty.
For instance, you could say, I keep my books on a tall shelf near my desk. Or, I store my clothes in a wooden wardrobe beside the bed.
Describing objects and their locations helps listeners imagine the layout, even if you're using very simple sentence structures.
Speaking of layout, it's helpful to practice explaining how rooms connect to each other. You might say, the kitchen is next to the living room, or my bedroom is at the end of the hallway.
These small phrases create a mental map for the listener, making your description feel organized and easy to follow.
Another effective tip is describing light and color, because they shape the personality of your home. You don't need to be artistic. Simple words work beautifully.
You can say, the walls are light blue, or the room feels bright in the afternoon, or the curtains are dark so the room stays cool.
Light and color give listeners a strong picture without requiring advanced vocabulary, which is perfect for learners at early levels.
Now let's add a short exercise. Imagine you're giving someone a short tour of your home, but instead of walking with them, you're describing everything in just 4 or 5 sentences.
Start with the type of home you live in, then mention 2 rooms, then describe one object, and finally, share one personal feeling about the space.
Here's a simple model. I live in a small apartment. My living room is bright, and my bedroom is quiet. There is a wooden desk where I study every night. I like my home because it feels cozy.
Try building your own version of that structure. Think of it as a flexible pattern you can use anytime someone asks about your place.
If you want an extra challenge, try describing one room in more detail by naming 2 objects and one feeling you have about that room.
For example, my bedroom has a soft rug and a tall lamp. It feels peaceful in the evening. Short, simple, and effective.
Another thing that helps learners sound more fluent is adding small time expressions. You can say, in the morning, the kitchen feels warm, or at night, the living room is quiet.
These time phrases show when something happens, which makes your description feel dynamic.
And remember, you don't need to describe everything at once. A clear description with a few well-chosen details is more powerful than a long, complicated list.
As you get more comfortable, you can practice describing one room per day, focusing on just 3 things: the size, 1 or 2 objects, and the feeling of the room.
This type of daily practice helps you grow naturally and gives you more confidence when someone asks about your home in English.
Keep the mental picture of your home in mind, because it will help you as we move into the final section, where we'll add finishing touches to make your descriptions even stronger.
Let's move into the final part of our episode and bring together everything you've learned so far, so you can describe your home smoothly, confidently, and in a way that feels natural every time you speak.
By now, you've explored room vocabulary, simple structures, feelings, routines, and easy phrases that help your descriptions sound clear and warm. Now we'll add the finishing touches that make your English feel complete.
A great place to start is with short organizing phrases that help you guide your listener from one idea to the next. Phrases like first, next, after that, and finally are simple but very powerful.
For example, you can say, first, my home has a small entrance. Next, the living room opens to a bright kitchen. After that, there's a quiet bedroom at the back. These small steps make everything feel connected.
Adding these little transitions helps your listener follow you easily, and they also help you stay calm when speaking because you always know what comes next.
Another helpful technique is describing your home by purpose. This means talking about what each room is mainly used for, which gives your description direction without needing advanced vocabulary.
You might say, the living room is where I relax, or the kitchen is where I cook breakfast, or the bedroom is where I rest after a long day. Purpose-based sentences are simple and very clear.
And when you explain what you do in each space, your description becomes more interesting because it's not just about the room, it's also about your life.
If you want to sound even more natural, you can add small emotional notes. They don't need to be deep or complicated. Something like, this corner makes me feel calm, or this room feels cheerful, works perfectly.
Emotions help listeners connect with you. They turn a basic description into a small story that's easy to remember and pleasant to hear.
Another gentle finishing touch is mentioning something new you've added to your home or something you're planning to change. These details show that your space is alive and always improving.
For example, I recently put up new curtains, or I added a plant to the balcony, or I want to reorganize my desk soon. These tiny updates make your English feel fresh and personal.
You can also use simple comparisons to make your description clearer, like, this room is brighter than the others, or my new apartment is quieter than my old one.
Comparisons are incredibly useful because they help listeners understand differences immediately, and you don't need complex grammar to use them.
Let's practice with a small challenge. Think of one room in your home and describe it with 3 elements: purpose, 1 object, and 1 feeling. Keep the sentences short but meaningful.
For example, my bedroom is where I rest at night. I have a small lamp on my bedside table. The room feels peaceful, especially in the evening.
This simple pattern works wonderfully because it includes action, detail, and emotion all at once.
Now let's build a full home description using everything we've talked about. I'll give a model example you can follow and adjust to your own situation.
Here's a clear pattern. State the type of home, list 2 or 3 rooms, name 1 or 2 objects, describe a routine, mention a feeling, then end with a short summary.
For example, I live in a small but bright apartment. The living room has a soft sofa near a wide window, and the kitchen is simple but warm in the morning. I usually read on the sofa after dinner, and the place feels calm and comfortable. Overall, my home is a cozy space that helps me relax.
This model works beautifully because it's gentle, organized, and easy to understand. You can replace each detail with your own, and you'll always have a complete description ready to use.
Another helpful idea is describing your home through the 5 senses. Even with basic language, it adds life and color to your words.
For sight, think about colors and light. The room looks bright in the afternoon. For sound, keep it simple. It's quiet at night. For smell, the kitchen smells nice when I cook. For touch, the rug feels soft under my feet. For feeling, the space feels warm and welcoming.
These sensory details make your English richer without making it harder. They're great tools for A1 to B1 learners.
Let's try one more practice moment. Imagine you're welcoming a friend to your home for the first time and giving them a short explanation before they arrive.
You could say something like, when you enter, you'll see the living room on the left, the kitchen is small but bright, and the bedroom is quiet with a soft lamp near the window.
Practicing this kind of introduction helps you get comfortable with simple directions and everyday vocabulary.
And remember, your description doesn't need to be long or fancy. It just needs to be clear, warm, and personal.
As you keep practicing, you'll notice that even short sentences can create a full picture when you choose details carefully.
And the more you describe your home, the easier it will be to describe other places too, like your office, a cafe, a friend's house, or even places you visit while traveling.
So keep exploring the little details around you because those details become the building blocks of your English.
And now, before we finish this episode, we'd love to hear from you.
Leave a comment telling us one thing you like about your home. Maybe a corner, an object, a view, or a daily routine you enjoy.
And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any new lessons and can keep building your English step by step with us.
We're excited to read your comments, and we hope you enjoy describing your home with more confidence and ease every day.
Goodbye, everyone.